These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. 0 tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
You know, recommendations can be great. Maybe someone recommended this podcast, and here you are. But home projects are different. If a podcast isn't your thing, you lose a few minutes. If you hire your cousin's neighbor to mount your TV, you might end up with a lopsided screen and wall damage. Maybe I know a guy just isn't enough for your home. That's why Thumbtack works. It matches you with top-rated local pros with photos, reviews, and credentials all in one place. For your next home project, try Thumbtack. Hire the right pro today.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is Morbido.
It sure is.
I really love saying
Morbido.
We're
going to rebrand.
Yeah, Morbidito.
I like that.
Yeah, just, I don't know. It's just what I'm calling it now.
You're like, you know what? I had something that left.
It's the weekend. We never record on the weekend, and it feels strange.
You know what that's from? The Weekend.
Wait, no, I do. Yeah.
You know.
Urban legend.
Yeah. And because I know I say that sometimes, and I have to wonder if like 85% of the audience is like, why do you say it like that? Watch Urban Legend if you haven't, because that's a key movie.
It's the best.
And the dean, when he gets got, before he gets got, he says, spoiler alert, he says,
the dean dies.
He says something like, well, it's the weekend. And the way he says it has always made me laugh. So
it's funny.
It's a vocal stem that I've had for literal decades.
We have a lot of random vocal stems because I love from Never Been Kissed. Ah, shit. I don't even know my own kid. I love saying that.
Jose?
Oh, randomly we'll just go, Jose? And people are probably like, what?
Like, it's from a movie.
I'm not Josie Grossi anymore. And that's Never Been Kissed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exciting news. Let's move on to actual business. We want you to go get yourself something spooky, honey. Something spooky, something cute, something morbidito.
Something morbidito.
It's our merch. Head to SiriusXMstore.com and you can use code MORBID for 25% off of your merch order.
Hell
and
yeah.
that is only for a limited time. It's the 4th through the 11th, so don't wait.
Do it.
Don't wait.
It's really comfy, guys. The merch is cozy wozy.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. We got to do a fun little thing the other day where we
did.
wore our merch for it.
We did.
That'll be some more news coming out soon. But let's get to the news of today because today's a cool freaking day.
We have Patricia Cornwell on the show again today. Again.
I feel like Patricia's like a family friend at this point.
She is.
We're recording this intro after we already talked to Patricia, and I think she actually said that to us. She said something along those lines.
She knows. She felt it.
It was life-changing for me. I feel like every time we talk to her, I just end up very inspired.
It's true. And I think you guys will too, because this is an episode where we talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about Scarpetta, the TV show, which is fucking awesome. I'm telling you guys, go watch it. We're going to talk about her new memoir, True Crime. It's literally called True Crime, a memoir.
It's really, really good.
It's out tomorrow, actually, which is May 5th. So you can go get it. Go pre-order it if you're a day early. Go get it if it's on the day.
If you're in the car, I don't care where you're going. Now, you're going to a bookstore.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really great. We got the honor of reading it early, and I'm telling you, it's an amazing book.
So good.
But yeah, this episode we talk about the memoir, we talk about Scarpetta, we talked about how to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, like life tips.
And what true crime has done to all of our psyches and our paranoias. She shared some really crazy stories. And also, she's just crazy inspiring. At the end of it, you're going to be like, well, fuck, I'm going to do stuff.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And she's funny as hell. Like, I love Patricia forever. These episodes are always so much fun. I always end up getting off them and being like, can we talk to Patricia again?
Oh, you missed the most important part, actually. We also talk about Jack the Ripper, and we think,
yeah, we do.
Patricia, this will not be Patricia's last time on the pod, honey.
No.
Because I think she's coming back to talk about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, we're going to try to get her back for some Jack the Ripper realness, because...
I had to reel a couple of redheads in this episode. I said, guys, we got to do this another time. Because we got to go full-blown into this.
We do, so stay tuned for that, because I'm very interested in Patricia's take. I'm going to reread her book because honestly, I haven't read that Jack the Ripper Portrait of a Killer book.
Oh my God.
In like a long time.
I haven't read that since like early high school.
Yeah. So now that I have like more information under my belt about Jack the Ripper, I want to give it another go and see if I agree with her person there.
All right.
Walter Sickert.
So without further ado, here's the episode with Patricia.
Here she is. So Patricia, first of all, huge congratulations on the most hugely anticipated Scarpetta series. I have personally been waiting for this, I feel like 30 years. I've been just on pins and needles.
Me too.
I can't imagine. I'm so excited for it.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. And I was just saying a minute ago, but I want everybody to hear this, that when I was at the premiere in early March, and of course, I'm looking at all the influencers and these shows and things that are really important to the studios and stuff out there. And your show is listed there.
That is mind blowing.
So crazy.
Morbid is listed as one of the important podcasts and of course, it makes sense. I mean, Scarpetta and Morbid fit hand in glove, don't they?
They do.
Oh, I think so.
I feel that.
Well, I suspect she listens to you when she's not busy at, I bet you Scarpetta's tuning into Morbid on a regular basis. She doesn't tell me what she listens to,
I love that. That's in my head canon now.
Yeah, so. I was going to say canon forever.
We got to find a way to have Morbid have a cameo on that show. Wouldn't that be fun?
We would die.
I'm going to say something to them next time I see them. I say, we got to do something. Because,
I would die.
All right, now I'm going to get in so much trouble. So here we are.
Get in trouble. Let's go.
But I suspect that there's some of those characters. I mean, we know that they secretly listen to your show. So, but anyway, I am glad it's been, I'm kind of numb. Like I almost can't believe it's happened.
And you have a new memoir coming out. It's actually coming out tomorrow, May 5th. It's called True Crime, a Memoir. Go get it, everyone. I'm telling you, we were lucky enough to get an early copy of it. And I ate it up. It is an amazing memoir. Like truly, truly, truly. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
It's so well written. It's very you. That's what I loved about it, is like you get the Patricia Cornwell voice throughout.
When it feels so conversational too. It's not your typical memoir.
No, definitely not.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, I just tried to try to write it as a story, like you're just telling people a story. I look at true crime And I know that seems like a strange title. It was so funny when I Googled, you have to Google for titles, that. If you write books, it's hard to find a title hadn't been used. And it was surprising to me that really hadn't been used because it's more of a genre.
Yeah.
And it's a title. But it's perfect for this because it has many meanings.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know where voice comes when you write. When I started it, I didn't know what the voice was going to sound like. But I know most of all, I think part of it was helped by the fact that, I had written the book in college that was a thinly veiled autobiography, because everybody should write a book about the first 19 years of their life because it would be so massively interesting to all, right? But at least I got an honors grade for it in college.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that book was told very much from the point of view of a child,
a
young person. And so by using that as source material, because I had so many anecdotes and stories in it that I wouldn't remember today. For example, when I started that, I'd just come out of that psychiatric hospital from the eating disorder. I mean, which was like a crazy movie. That whole thing. You can't make up stuff like that. Me being in a place like that for 2 months when I was the only one who, well, I'm not going to say I was the only one. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say it was scary being there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're never supposed to say that somebody's crazier than you are or they're not. So we won't get into comparisons because they probably thought I was very strange too. But anyway, I had just come out of there and I started writing all this. So I remembered it like it was yesterday, right down to the tennis shots that I had to hit when they made me play that exhibition match. Now, you tell me that's not crazy, that you're a patient in a psychiatric hospital, you weigh 89 pounds, and because you used to be a well-known tennis player in the area, they make you do an exhibition match in front of all of the patients.
That's wild.
Mind-blowing.
That's honestly nightmarish.
The tennis court was all cracked. There were weeds growing up in it because it wasn't used anymore because it used to be a resort, and then it became a private hospital. But anyway, when you get all these wild stories in life, it doesn't seem fun at the time, but boy, are they gifts later.
Yeah, truly. It's one of those things that it's like, I should write a book about this.
That's right.
So you've spent decades telling stories about crime, justice, human behavior, human psychology, forensics, all manner of things that have to do with this. What felt like now being the moment to tell your story instead of fictionalizing it?
Well, I didn't want to do it. I've never wanted to do it.
I can imagine.
And I wouldn't have done it. There are not that many mystery writers, crime writers. There are not that many autobiographies. And I mean, even Dickens didn't write an autobiography because I think these people, you die in the saddle. You're still working on your last book. And I didn't want to do this either. But then when someone was talking about making a television show, having a character based on me, when I read a draft of a script, I didn't recognize the character, and it wasn't the writer's fault. It really was because there's no record out there to check. If you want to know the definitive things about my life, you'd have to piece it together from many, many interviews over the years, and present company excluded. Not all people who interview you to tell things accurately.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I was just going to write down a bunch of notes, and the next thing I knew, I thought, I should just try to. What happens if I start telling the story? I just finished my last book 3 or 4 months early. I've got a little time if I want to think about it. And I never know when I start a book whether that story wants to be told until it tells me that it does.
Yeah.
You start the page, I think of a scene, and I thought, well, how would I start this story about my life? What scene? And it's the same way I started a Scarpetta novel. What is scene? Where is she right now? What is she doing? Mm-hmm. And I know you relate to this. I thought, well, I have to start when I woke up that morning and I heard my mother burning all her clothes in the living room.
That's the one.
And her rapid footsteps going up and down the hall, and I'm looking out the window at the snow, and my brothers are making weird noises in their bedroom and upset and telling her to stop. That event changed everything that would ever happen to me ever again, because if she had not done that and then marched us, tried to take us up the mountain and give us to Billy Graham's family, which she successfully, we got up there because their caretaker saw us and knew something was really wrong with her walking these kids up there in the snow. And there, I mean, I still see Ruth sitting in the living room way back then when I was 9 years old. And that was the beginning of my transferring really, truly my affection and my trust to that woman instead of my own mother.
That's why.
I mean, I continued to live with my mother, but But Ruth was like, she was this hero to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, she always was kind to me when I'd see her in the town, but we weren't like friends when I was a kid. But I'd see her around because she was home, um, and Billy wasn't there too much. But then when I had that hospital thing, that's when she took me under her wing when I was 19, and she gave me my first journal and said, "I want you to write because I feel like I know you're talented." She'd read some poetry and stuff I'd done. I mean, she was being nice. So I did. I started writing that book that, weirdly enough, half a century later has spun off into true crime. Life is so mysterious. It's really far more mysterious than anything we would write, that these things can happen like this.
It's so
Sure
true.
is, absolutely. Well, and I think there's power too in being able to tell your own story for the first time when you've experienced this. So many people have told it for you for so long. That must be a really empowering place to be in now.
I'm not sure you even know what your real story is until you start telling it.
Yeah, I
that
can
makes
see that.
sense.
And that's been the beauty and the horror of doing this memoir, because it gives you a bird's eye view of your entire life. You put it in perspective. It's almost like you're in a spaceship looking down. And it's both, the two things that I've been struck with is that I marvel over what people might call serendipity, or synchronicity, or we might call it miracles. You might call it divine intervention, but whatever you want to call it, I see evidence of that through my whole life. I mean, the idea that my mother would go to a Billy Graham crusade in Miami when we still lived there, and because she was so taken with him and became a Christian, then she wanted to live where he did and moved us all the way across, all the way up to North Carolina, to a little town where she'd never been before. We had no place to stay. Imagine that. And then I end up on their doorstep.
Yeah, that's quite
That's
a start.
unbelievable.
That is really truly like that. That's the sort of stuff that is like an adult fairy tale.
Yeah, it's such an upheaval. Like I have 10-year-old twins, and I just think of 9-year-old you. I'm like, being like, that kind of upheaval must have just been out of this world, because I feel like they need such consistency and such safety at all times. So that was like killing me reading that. I was like, oh my God, I want to go back there and just like give you stability.
Well, you know what, it gives you more empathy for how my mother must have felt sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of it she didn't remember, because when you have the electroconvulsive shock therapy, and she had hundreds of these treatments after 2 hospitalizations, and it wiped out a lot of her memory, was gone. And so I honestly don't know that she remembered burning our clothes or I know a part of her did remember taking us up to the Grahams. And I'll tell you how I know that is because she would avoid Ruth like the plague.
Oh,
Really?
interesting.
She didn't go up and speak to her in church. The few times when you would see Billy in church, which was like a huge deal, it's like the president showing up. And I say this in the book, my mother put him on such a pedestal. She watched every show, every crusade, everything. He was on TV. She listened to him on the radio. She read all his books. She read his column in the newspaper. And here he lived right up the road. And whenever he was around, she would never, ever go up to him. I don't think she ever met him.
Wow.
That's wild.
I was just around their older son, Franklin, just a couple of weeks ago. We
Oh,
spent
wow.
some time together. And we were talking about this. And I said, the weird thing is, I said, the whole time I was growing up, I don't think my mother ever met your father once, because she was so embarrassed,
Right.
so embarrassed by what she'd done. And so you'll like this story. So what I tried to do to make her feel better, and this was probably in around 2004 or so, and when I was flying helicopters all over the place, and occasionally I would land my helicopter in Ruth's yard. She's on the top of this ridge with this backyard, and it's just a big drop off after that with the road that goes down the mountain. But this yard, I mean, there's no room to spare. And we would land. I mean, it would blow her roses everywhere. It looked like the Wizard of Oz coming down, the house.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, Patricia's
and
here.
she'd be out on the porch going like this. Billy would come wandering out like, what?
What is happening?
Well, who's landing in our yard?
Apocalyptic. Like, what is going
But
on?
on this one occasion, Ruth said, you should bring your mother up here. Because Mother had never been up to that house since the time she took us up there when I was 9 to give us away.
Oh, wow.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. But, this time we're going to go up, we're going to land in a helicopter.
Yeah.
So
We're not trucking up there.
I flew my mother there and we landed in the helicopter. And I said, if you're going to return after all that, maybe this will help give you your dignity back a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And I have a picture of us sitting on Ruth's porch with Mom and Ruth and I on either side of my mother. And my mother's got this big smile on her face.
Oh,
there's
I
something
love
about
that.
replacing like an awful memory with something 10 times better.
Oh,
And it's so
yeah.
cool that you were able to do that for her.
Yeah.
Well, in quantum mechanics, they now say that what you do in the present can change the past.
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
I
to me.
believe
So
that.
that is an example of you can change the past by doing things that change the way people feel about it.
Oh, yeah.
And you do have the power to do that. And and science will tell you that. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh,
yeah, it
yeah.
absolutely is. Yeah.
I love that.
But how cool of you to just be willing to do that after everything that you'd gone through. And I can imagine those were hard times to write about.
I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's like opening a wound.
To quote your show, I walked around feeling rather morbid for a while.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So many people are gone, have died. And I'm not that person anymore. I mean, I'm turning 70 not too long, in a month or so. And I go, where did it go? What happens? And you start looking back on your early life and it's really it's almost like it's somebody else. It doesn't even
Yeah.
seem real anymore.
Yeah.
That's got to be a
And
trip.
so, but I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't say it's fun. I'll tell you one of the hard parts about it for me is even if someone's been awful, I really don't like to say bad things about them publicly. But
Yeah,
I have
sure.
to. I have to, like that foster
Yeah.
mother. I'm sorry I had to say it. I'm sorry I had to say what Larry King did because there's a difference between sloppy flirty, and I've been that too, and try to take power over people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's a big difference.
Abusing your power because you can.
Yeah.
But most of all, I thought for my readers who've been following me for decades, almost 40 years now, I want them to know the true story of who I am,
Right.
whether they like it or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And also for other artists, because it's not easy. And one thing you learn is even if you get where you want to go, you've got to keep recreating yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever arrive. You're always going.
Mm-hmm.
And even when the station is glitzy and maybe you're number one and you're making a lot of money, the next train station is not going to be the same.
It never
so
is.
true.
No.
No, so you better be ready and never give up. If you have something that a value that you want to add, even if we're telling these grisly graphic stories. And I often think to myself, what edification am I offering to the world? What am I doing to make things better by telling these stories? Is this just me who can do it and therefore wants to? But no, I do think there's a place for it because we are showing people the bad things that can happen out there. And we make it palatable through mysteries. You do it, I do it, and your show does it, your books do it, all of it. If it wasn't real, then I would say, why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting all this in somebody's head. But it is real.
Absolutely.
There are serial killers. There are people who get struck by lightning. There are some of the most hideous and bizarre things that happen to people that can ever be imagined. And unfortunately, if you've been exposed to it, you're never the same. But at the same time, I'd like to ask you a question. Would you undo and not know all this if you could?
No way.
No.
See, I wouldn't either, because
Yeah.
that's like telling me then show up at a gunfight with a pea shooter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
You speaking my language.
I like
because we
being
know.
prepared.
These stories, that's the thing, these stories prepare us. And I
Yeah.
think that's why they're necessary, like you say.
Yeah. Like and I think it's important too, obviously, like with my own kids, I do it. I make it palatable for them and like age appropriate. But I think it's important that they know not every adult has your best interest in mind, and not every adult is safe to go to. And an adult will never need your help. So if an adult comes up to you and says, I need help, you scream and run. Like you need to prepare people early
And
because the world is changing.
Especially girls. I think it's so
Yeah.
important.
Oh, and listen, I saw somebody, some women scientists, I think it was, had come up with a nail polish that when you're in the
Yes.
bar, you stir
can
your
dip
drink
your
and
finger in.
and it will change colors if someone spiked your drink while you went to the ladies' room.
Genius.
I think that's incredible.
Genius. But and how sad that we have to do this, but I love that people are evolving, like the science and technology is evolving with the bad people.
Yeah.
Oh,
essentially.
listen, if I had a kid, she'd have on nail polish, toe polish.
Oh,
She'd
yeah.
have a GPS tracker. She'd probably have an invisibility cloak for when it's a bad moment. And I mean, I don't know how you tell your kids how to watch out in this world, or someone wants to give you candy and it's fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so we live in a dangerous world. And so the people like us, we are here to be trailblazers. We hold a torch and we go down a long, dark, scary path. And we say, you follow us, you hang on to the hem of our coat if you want, if you're scared. We'll lead the way. We're going to show you what's here so that you don't ever do certain things where this could be a problem.
Exactly.
But if you don't know what's out here, then you're going to go driving in that neighborhood, or you're not going to lock your door, or you're going to leave your window open, or you're only going to, we've talked about this before, you're not going to have a landline, so that when a signal jammer turns off your Wi-Fi, that someone's going to break in and you don't hear them.
Exactly.
Cameras don't work.
Yeah.
So you know what I say? I say, you show me what kind of crap happens out there, and then you make my day, because we're gonna make it so hard for you to do that.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid. Patricia, you just led me perfectly into our next question for you. There's a line in your memoir that hit Alaina and I both like slap across the face immediately. You write, I don't even want to leave the newsroom because my imagination escorts me to the car. That is,
we were like,
it's beyond real. Because we find, like we were just saying, covering these true crime stories, it changes how you move through the world. And we want to know what's something you do out of either habit, instinct, maybe paranoia that most people might find unusual, like your number one safety tip or trick.
Well, first of all, I always make sure that first of all, always know where an exit door is.
yes.
Always.
So smart.
Whether you're in a room or you're in a hotel, know how you're going to get out. And so I mean, okay, so I'll admit it. I go to a restaurant, I go anywhere. I'm looking all around me. I'm looking at the entrance and I'm thinking if somebody comes in here to start robbing everybody, what are you going to do?
Yep.
And so it's just automatic that I think about worst case scenario and how you would react. What should you do? And there's not an easy answer. It depends on where you are and what the circumstances are. But I always tell people, this is the way I think. Okay, I'll tell you something I do. I walk through parking lots heading somewhere, and I look at every car I walk between, and I think if I were a bad person, what information are they leaving in their car that tells me that they could be a potential victim? Baby shoes hanging from the rearview mirror.
That's smart.
Gym bag in the back seat with the name and address on a sticker that you can see through the window.
Yep.
It could be anything, a bumper sticker.
Yep.
Or something that makes people think you're a single woman who lives alone. I don't know what it is, but do not. You know what is a real crazy thing people do? People go to conventions and they walk out on the sidewalk with a name tag on.
Oof.
So I'm a bad person and I'm going to abduct you. I'm going to come up to you and I'm going to say, Helen, what are you doing in Charleston?
You just say, what?
Yeah, I must know you.
Yeah.
You don't remember me. What's going on? Oh, I'm blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, we met a couple years ago. I don't expect. And next thing you know, this person has let their guard down. This is total scam.
Yep.
And
So easily.
Don't stand in an airport line with a tote bag that has your home address on a tag that someone could see and take a picture of.
So smart. Such good advice.
You don't want to get me started on this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we could all go on for hours.
Yeah.
Tell me something you do.
Well, my whole thing is if they come to your house during the day, they want your stuff. If they come to your house during the night, they want you. So I make locking my doors at night like an Olympic sport.
No, it's like medieval Europe around here. She's like barricading the doors.
I put heavy things in front of every exit or entrance, like things that we could move, but things that if a door was pushed open, it would fall down and make a huge noise. Because I like to have that extra second that we could hear something and react appropriately.
Well, I have a very unfortunate news flash for you.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
okay. Home invasions during the day or the night, it may not make any difference what time of day it is. The biggest problem with people being home during a burglary is sometimes a burglar breaks in and is not intending anyone to be there, but then you become what's called a crime of opportunity.
Yep.
And so, and nowadays these home invasions happen, and we didn't used to have home invasions like we got now.
Honestly, now during the day, it feels like it's being,
and it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a lot scarier now.
And it can happen at any hour of the night. And here's what you have to do. Well, first of all, I'm a big advocate of alarm systems.
Oh, I love an
my
alarm
system.
And make sure that your alarm system is on a ground, a real line. It's not wireless. So that if your wireless goes out, I mean, there are precautions you can take to outsmart the things that people are going to try to do stuff.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think everybody should be thinking that way. You don't ever open your door when you don't know who's there. And if it's a cop and it's only one cop in particular, you say, I'm sorry, I'm not expecting you. I'm calling 911 to see why you're here. Because then you can get these uniforms now.
Oh, yeah. Fake badges.
It's a shame, but you can't. The inherent trust that we felt as children in a world that was relatively safe by comparison. And I sound so depressing to people, I'm sure, but I'm sorry, you cannot live that way anymore.
Well, you have to be informed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let my kids, if I had little kids like you, I wouldn't let them walk about to the tennis courts and the pool.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That I used to do.
Nope.
No, they don't go anywhere by themselves.
And we have little, like they're we know where they are at all times.
Yep.
So we can follow them.
They have those little watches.
Yeah. They don't. I'm crazy. I'm probably like a helicopter parent, but I feel like now we have to be a helicopter parent. Like I'm perfectly fine with that.
But how could you not be knowing all the things that you know?
And
not
they're
only
just,
the world we live in, but you have special knowledge of the, you worked in a morgue,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've been you all have been exposed and you've talked to so many people. This is a reality. It's not just some fanciful whodunit.
Yeah.
But I do think it gives you a leg up being informed the way that
think
we
so,
are.
too.
Some people, I think, like, especially in our lives, people think we're paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid than uninformed.
Right.
Knowledge is power.
And trust your instincts. I mean, your instincts, there's a part of your brain that knows things that you consciously don't really know. I know that sounds weird. But for example,
it's so true.
If you're confronted with somebody, like I had somebody chase me down an escalator once. I was with a young, this was way early on, not way before I was, the Scarpetta person. I was in Washington going down that escalator on DuPont Circle, which is like Dante's Inferno. It just goes and goes and goes. And we were at the top and we were going down, and this guy in camouflage started coming after us and saying, "You can run, but you can't hide."
Oh my God.
And he chased us all the way down to the bottom. When we got to the turnstile, my friend is like freaking out. He comes right up to us. And I don't know what, something just came over me. And I looked at him right in the eye. And he said he was mumbling all the stuff, or you're this or you're that. And I said, "Let me tell you what I am." I said, "I'm a cop. And you better get your ass out of here right now. Do not make me say it again."
Hell yeah.
He said, "You're not a cop." I said, "I'm a cop. You better get out of here now." And he either decided that I was one or I was as crazy as he might have been. And
He wasn't
Either way, it worked.
and he left. And I don't even know why I did that. Because sometimes that's the worst thing you can do.
But something told you that was the
Something
moment.
told me.
Yeah,
And so when I
instinct.
got back up to the top on the sidewalk, I mean, my knees turned to water.
Oh,
if you know that
sure.
feeling. But we trust your instincts. If your gut tells you, don't get on that elevator, don't cross to that side of the street, don't get in that Uber. And by the way, make sure when you are doing ride sharing, you always have something in your pocketbook or your pocket or your coat that you could use to help yourself if this person decides to abduct you.
Yes.
And I don't mean to be gross, but phone charger,
Yup.
Yeah.
So
if you
smart.
got a
Whatever you
sharp
can.
pen, an ink pen, are we really talking about this?
Yeah.
A nail
Yeah,
file.
I mean, you're as freaky as I am, because this is the morbid discussion from hell. But anyway, but I don't mean to be gross, but you need to think about what you would do. So, because what will happen is you're better off that guy wrecks the car than gets you where he's going to take you and do what he's going to do to you.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So think about these things, and then hopefully it never happens.
Yeah.
But I think about that kind of stuff, and I hope it never happens, and I hope if something does. I've thought about it, but it'd be easier never to have to think about these things. But once you know it's out there, you have to think about these things, unless you want to die.
Yeah. And with a ride share too, never give them your name up front. Don't go up and say, "Hey, is this for Alaina?" Like make them say
"Who's
your
this
name.
for?"
Say who's this ride for?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I told my husband that recently.
Yeah.
He thought I was crazy. I'm like, well, it's going to save you from getting abducted.
Because if you give them their
That's
name, all they have to
genius.
say is yes.
Yeah.
And
No,
now
it's
you're in
so
the car.
true.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Always make them say it.
All right. Well, switching gears here a little bit. We talked about all these safety precautions, which I'm sure we're going to get back to.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, anybody can read my memoir, but they can't hear our crime tips like this.
Yes, exactly. That's true. But I do want to go back to your memoir for a second. We did talk about the harder times to write, but was there a particular chapter of your life that was actually really fun for you to revisit, like exciting to revisit?
I always enjoy revisiting when I went to London and got the first big crime award from Princess Margaret. Because I mean, you talk about the Beverly Hillbillies or the Ma and Pa Kettle. Me going to London and the whole bit about getting the call in the morgue, and then literally, I don't know why the chief medical examiner did this, because this is so crazy. I think I said it in my book too, but
This might be my favorite thing.
I got the call in my office. I'm looking at my cinder block wall and my steel desk across from the elevator where all the stink comes in up the shaft, with my can of Lysol on the desk. Ring, ring. And I answer, and it's my literary agent. And he says, "Well, I've got news for you. you've just won the best first crime novel in Great Britain. I said, what? And he said, and it's being presented, I think it was something like the Royal Law Society. I don't know what it was. And by Princess Margaret. And I said, what?
Say it again.
Said, who's this again?
And you have to go there, and it's like next month or whatever. So I said, so I'm being presented to royalty?
Excuse
yes.
me?
I said, okay, well, I have to think about this for a minute. So thank you. I said, thank you. I'm going to practice my accent now.
He said, pip, pip, cheerio.
So I go downstairs. Marcel is gone, so I can't tell her. She left, and the chief is down there, and he's finishing a stab wound homicide case, and he's holding his forceps with the wound he's excised. He's hanging from it.
This is one of my favorite things I've read.
And I walk in and I say, you won't guess, you never guess it. I just postmortem just won best first crime novel in the UK, and Princess Margaret's presenting me the award. And his reaction is he threw the thing at me. Why?
I laughed so hard.
Alaina and I were talking about this.
I picked it up and I put it in the little carton where it belonged, and I rinsed my fingers and said, well, I'll see you tomorrow. And I left.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the congrats.
Then on my way home, I stop at the most expensive clothing boutique in Richmond, Montaldo's.
Yes, girl.
And that's where I got my little outfit. They put me on a little wooden box and dressed
Hell
me.
yeah.
They taught me how to curtsy. And I wrote down in my journal at the time how much I spent on everything. You know, I think I was appalled that I spent $1.98 on really fancy pantyhose or something. That was, you know, I was used to the legs or whatever the cheap stuff was. And so, but from soup to nuts, it was one disaster after the next of me going and getting that award and then getting dragged away by the men in the red coats, because you're not supposed to ask questions of royalty. You don't chat with them. I was just being southern polite.
Yeah. How are you supposed to know?
You ride horses.
Yeah.
Everybody rides horses in the royal family, you numbnut.
I would have been the same way. What are you supposed to do?
Can I pet your horse?
You're like, I'm just happy to be here. Let's chat about it.
It was, and I mean, it was crazy. And then to wake up the next morning and it snowed. I was snowed at London.
That's gnarly.
And so I wandered the whole day through, you know, looking in all these beautiful stores that I couldn't afford. I hadn't moved there yet, but when I did do something rather cheeky years later. Oh God, I shouldn't tell this story either, because my neighbors are going to know this now. But I'd gone back a couple of years later for something, and I'd moved to this wealthy neighborhood, and I call it, you know, Windsor Farms in Richmond is the place to live. And I'd found a starter home there because it was handicap equipped, and it was not old. It was faux Tudor. I mean, let's be honest, every Tudor there is faux Tudor, but okay. But mine was really faux Tudor because it had not been built too long ago. And I had gotten a fire sale for it, so I was able to afford to move there. Well, everybody else, you know, there was some attitudes in that neighborhood, shall we say.
I imagine.
And they were very curious about why I was living there. And they would ask you who your family was. They want to know who you're descended from. And I didn't, and it was that kind of thing. So I went to London, and I happened to be in a flag shop, and I bought one of these hospitality flags you hang over your door.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a rampant lion on it, very British looking, from my faux British Tudor house. And I wanted them to embroider the initials FR on the corner of the flag. They said, why? I said, just because I want it. Okay. So it's now custom made. So anyway, now I'm a custom made flag for my faux British house. And so I get this thing and I hang it over the entrance, and there's this beautiful rampant lion flag over my faux Tudor house flapping. And the neighbors would go, what does FR stand for? I said, oh, it's Flags of Regent Street. I'm sure you've heard of it. They custom made this for me. They said, oh, that's lovely. I'm sure. Yes, I'll have to look up that place. Well, what it really means, and I won't say it out loud, it means effing rich. Because that's the only reason I could afford to live there. It's not because I was anybody special.
Oh, so my God.
Was my way. And that effing rich flag hung above my door the whole time I lived there.
That is.
I already had so much respect for you.
Not a single person knew.
Oh. I love that so much.
I already had so much respect for you, but it's leveled up even more. That's incredible.
I don't need the family name. This is why I'm here. I love that a lot.
It's always good to have a private joke as long as you're not hurting somebody else's feelings. and nobody
Exactly.
knew.
No.
And the honest truth was, let's be honest, why are we so special here?
Yeah.
Because we can afford to live here. That's the only reason.
Yeah, you were
Yup.
just being honest. You're like, let's go.
You're straight up about it.
Oh, I love that a lot. And speaking of like favorite parts of the memoir, one of my favorite things in the memoir was when he threw the stab wound at you. And you were just like, why did he do that? I don't know. I just picked it up and put it away.
I bet you've seen people do some strange stuff down there, haven't you? Tell me.
That's what I was going to say too, was personally, when I saw that, I read it in there and I said, yup, that is morgue humor. Like that is, you have to have gallows humor, I feel like, to survive down there.
Didn't you have one guy that would always play Kesha to get
Yes.
through autopsies?
We always had a playlist. Like everyone got their own playlist, what you were comfortable with. Some people had like very chill music that they liked to work with. And there was one guy I worked with and he just always played Kesha. And so he'd be like dancing in the middle of doing things. And he was so meticulous. Like he was doing his job to a T. He never messed up. He was never disrespectful, but he was just dancing, singing, doing the whole thing. I loved working with him because he made it such a different experience.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I feel like you need to have that.
You know, it's funny. I mean, there are a lot of things that I've seen in an autopsy suite that are probably not that abnormal, really, like what you just were talking about. Unusual. It's not, it's weird. I don't translate that into my book. Some of it can be a little mean-spirited. I mean, I remember, for example, there was a young, a forensic pathology fellow, a young woman, and there weren't, this is back in the day when there weren't too many women.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She was just getting started. So this is like, so what they would do is a body comes in that's decomposed, that's really bad, and what, when you unzip it, there's all kinds of things moving around in there. You know what I'm talking about.
That's when you know.
That's the kind of stuff that the new person would get.
Yep.
And it's totally deliberate.
Yeah.
Or a bat got killed in the morgue and someone fixes it in formalin and hangs it from a string over someone's desk.
That kind of stuff.
Which, by the way, is not funny when you're sitting down and you look up and there's that
it's
thing
just
hanging over your desk.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, people. But the one thing in the medical examiner's office I was in, yes, people have to vent, and there is some real gallows humor. But the one thing that didn't happen is people weren't disrespectful towards the people
never.
at those
Right.
tables.
Nope.
But you laugh at other things. You laugh at the. I think I may have told you this story. This is one of my favorites, where one of the medical examiners had gone to a house where a lady had died on the couch, and it was probably natural causes, but she wasn't under the care of a physician, so someone had to check her out. So she does her thing. She comes back to the morgue. The next morning, she's wandering around and she's looking like she's not like Mrs. Magoo, and she says, "I can't find my glasses anywhere. Has anybody seen my glasses?"
Oh,
Meanwhile, cut to the funeral of the lady on the sofa. She's lying open in her open casket with these red glasses on. And people are walking around her casket saying, "I didn't know she wore those glasses.
Oh my God.
I didn't know she wore glasses at all."
What?
And
So
so
a family story.
So I think maybe they got returned to that medical examiner. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Do you want them after that?
Or the time a station wagon full of bodies that had been embalmed and are on their way to Medical College of Virginia, and there's a car accident, and all the bodies are on the highway.
Oh,
and
no.
the state trooper stops, and obviously they aren't dressed after they're embalmed. And
So
the
he's
state
like-
trooper stops, and he gets on his radio and he says, "Oh my God, there's been this terrible accident. It was so violent, it blowed all their clothes off."
That poor guy. He's like, what happened
He
here?
still gets hazed about that to this day, probably.
Well, that's the time something gets carjacked, and you get look at what's in the back, and you go, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
That's like, whoops.
Right.
That would be instant karma, to be honest.
Absolutely it would.
But you know what? Another one of my favorite parts of the story is that, like, speaking of autopsies, is that you committed and went to become a volunteer police officer, partially at least, it seemed like, to be permitted to be part of an autopsy. I thought that was such commitment to the cause.
The dedication.
And then I loved that you ended up loving it.
Oh gosh, I've always had uniform envy since I was born. I tell everybody I run around with the Secret Service, the FBI, and I'm going envy. I have badge envy. I have gun envy. I have uniform envy. When Stacy and I met the Carabinieri in Italy, we both decided we would sign on just for their uniforms. Yeah, the
I get
Italians
it.
are like they look like Armani dressed them.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God. And the red silk lined capes and all this. And
Oh,
so when I had a chance to, when Marcella suggested, say, look, you have to have legitimacy. I mean, you did as an autopsy technician, you can be down there. I
yeah.
had no legitimacy to be in the morgue. And I said, well, what can I do to have legitimacy? She said, well, you could be a volunteer police officer. That would probably do it.
So got it.
I didn't even know there was that. And I thought, wow, I kind of like that thought anyway.
You're like, sure.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
It's so funny when Charlie would take photographs of me in my uniform, I could tell he was just trying to be nice, but it's like, not a good look, not a good look.
I think it's a great look. You wore it well. And was there anything about that time being a volunteer police officer that surprised you, or a time that something that really made you excited to be a volunteer police officer?
Well, I loved all of it. I mean, I really did. I loved riding with detectives. I loved being in uniform. But one of the things that I didn't realize is the hardship a lot of police feel or suffer through from just the discomfort of the job. Like I'd be out directing traffic and the carbon monoxide's getting to me.
Oh, I didn't even think of
Be
that.
a little woozy, and the heat coming up through these awful shoes. I got one of them right here. This is one of my shoes I wore back then.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I went for 'em.
They don't look like they have good
Support.
No,
support.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I was like, ooh, my foot
and
hurts.
when you were like showing up at a baseball game and just kind of patrolling around and stuff, and my feet would hurt.
Oh,
the
yeah.
hat would give me a terrible headache.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the discomforts of things that you're not used to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just loved being exposed to something that, I mean, I really thought seriously when I couldn't get published. I thought about whether I should just become a police officer. I even talked to a lieutenant about it and said, do you think that I would be okay as a police officer? Now, mind you, I already had one book published, the Ruth Graham biography, and all the rest of it. And so this lieutenant very diplomatically said, most people who become officers do better if they're kind of like everybody else. And I'm not sure what she was saying there,
You're like,
but
what does that mean?
I think that was like a big fat no.
It was a nice way.
but I cherish that I ever did that. I'm so glad I did it. It'd be hard to do that today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
different world. But the other thing is, if you were a volunteer, the rest of the rank and file, for the most part, had no use for you.
Yeah.
When we would roll up on a scene, they would look at us like we were,
Like, why are you here?
yeah, we were not the real deal. They kind of go on. We don't need your help with anything. Or somebody would make a smart aleck remark about, hey, you're not wearing a gun. And
like, shut
I'd
up.
point to my watch. I'd say, you don't know what this can do. It's got a special feature to it. Don't bother me.
Iconic.
I love that. The unknown, okay?
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower, oh my God, Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Do you remember in school when you just knew that your teacher had a favorite of everything? They would always use the same blue dry erase marker when they wrote on the board, or they would talk nonstop about their favorite element during science. I had a teacher once that literally had a favorite brand of marker. She would only write with specific markers, and if another marker ended up in her classroom, she was TO'd. And honestly, I was probably her favorite student because at the end of the year, I got her that specific brand of marker. Let's talk about their real favorite thing though, their favorite tissue brand. Kleenex. According to Teacher Lists, they are the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Kleenex Ultra Soft tissues are silky soft to help prevent skin irritation, and now you can take them anywhere with Kleenex Snap and Go. I absolutely love Kleenex Snap and Go. It's so perfect to have that in your car. I had a cold last week and I was just... Honey, my nose was a faucet. I hate to do this to you, but it was disgusting. Drew literally came out of our garage with like 15 of the Kleenex Snap and Goes, and I put those in my glove compartment, and honey, they were easy access. It was so nice knowing that I didn't have to blow my nose into like an old wrapper that I had. Ew. So do the best thing for your kids' teachers and stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. Maybe it'll make them their teacher's favorite student. They definitely have a favorite. Don't even get me started because again, you know it was me. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
I just love the commitment because you wanted to be part of an autopsy and you were like, what do I have to do to get there?
I'm going to get there.
I did the exact same thing. That's why I could relate to it so much. I didn't do the volunteer police officer, but I really wanted to be involved in autopsies and was like singularly focused on it. And I started just kind of like harassing the head of pathology where I wanted to do it until he did a research project with me. And he was like, you can't be in an autopsy yet, but we can do this research project. We went through that. And then finally, I just like bugged him and did whatever I could during this research project to get into that room. And when I was finally given access to the room, it was like, okay. Like, I was like, it felt so good because I was like, this is something I really wanted, and I made sure I got it. And I feel like that's exactly what you did. You were like, I'm getting there.
You know, the interesting thing is you call your show morbid, but your very curiosity about an autopsy and anybody's real curiosity is anything but morbid. It's not morbid. You know what it really is? It's a privilege.
Yes.
When you've got a body on the table of someone who has been murdered, which is horrible. And I'm not saying it's a privilege because it's a good thing. It's a privilege that you are given an opportunity to try to reconstruct what happened there and do something that might change the lives of a lot of people. If you can figure it out, it's really what you've got is a sort of a metaphorical archaeology site.
Yeah.
Waiting to be excavated. And you're the first person who's going to put the trowel in that and see what's under that surface. And you might find something you never imagined. And that's what's fun about autopsies,
so
especially writing about them, is there can be all these surprises, something that completely changes the course that you were on, and you decide this didn't happen. Now I'm thinking this might have happened.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And
you're making the dead speak.
And that's the thing,
and that's the privilege.
Death always feels like that's it. There's no helping after death. Like death is the end of the curtain. That's it. But I feel like in an autopsy, death is just like the beginning of helping. When you're in the autopsy, now you can really help, and now you can really make a difference. And
that's right.
And make this death mean something, because now you can figure out, one, what happened, so you can give closure, and two, make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right.
And help to make sure that doesn't happen again.
That's the big part. If you can help figure that out, maybe that same serial killer won't bring another one of these people to your door.
Right. Exactly.
And that is exactly what motivates Scarpetta. It's not just justice is for the living. It's not for the dead. The dead, it doesn't matter anymore. But for
Exactly.
those left behind, not only do they need to have some peace of mind that there was a price to pay for this unbelievable, unforgivable thing someone did, but also that you're not going to give that person a chance to do it again.
Exactly.
So it's a very big responsibility when that you walk in that room with that body on the table and you want it to tell you the truth about what's going on there.
Absolutely. And make it mean something.
Yeah.
And speaking of autopsies, this is a little more lighthearted of a moment from it. But another thing that I found so relatable in the memoir was when Dr. Fierro said that there should be a place on a death certificate that says, "Was this death stupid? Yes or no?" I was like, yep, I've felt that exact same way before. And I had to ask, was there any moment in any kind of death investigation that you were a part of, even peripherally, that you were like, what was the decision making here? Like, what led to this?
Yes, all the time. And I don't know if you've had this, where you see something and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And with every case, there's always something that no one was ever able to interpret. Like they found something outside in the grass, or they found a symbol written on a body, and did the bad person do it, or did the victim do it? I mean, what does that mean? There's so many things like that, but so much of it, even when it's stupid, like and you never forget some of these cases, but I remember there was this young boy, he's probably, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16, in his overalls out in the country, and he's riding in the back of a pickup truck, and he's got a crush on a girl. So he's got a little can of Right Guard deodorant in his pocket, in his coat pocket. I guess he wants to make sure he smells nice around her. I don't know. But he had, it was dented because of what happened to him. But he's roaring around, and he decides it's a good idea to stand up in the back of the pickup truck right at the same time they go under a bridge.
Oh man.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
And so, but now that is like that, you would check the stupid box.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could smell. It was Old Spice. Old Spice deodorant.
Distinct.
And I could smell it. And here he is on this table, and here's his little dented can of deodorant. And as stupid as it was, how sad, sad that. And I think of his poor family. And so, and these things, they never, your first time of seeing some of this stuff, you just never forget it. I remember the names of some of these people from long ago.
Yeah. Because it must just be so strange to be so close to like the last act that somebody did, like that boy putting on his deodorant. That's one of the very last things he did.
It's super intimate.
And this person is obviously dead on a table, but that makes them so alive in your head. That's got to be strange to reconcile.
Yes, it gives you a peephole into their inner being for one moment. And I may have told you this story before, but a similar thing was a woman who'd gotten hit by a car at 3:00 in the morning, walking home from the bar. And when I was in the morgue the next morning, the state trooper was going through her stuff, and in her wallet was a fortune from a fortune cookie. And it said, "You will soon have an encounter that will change the course of your life."
Wow.
And you wonder, maybe she went to that bar looking for that encounter, but the encounter she got was 2 headlights.
Right. Oh, that's awful.
But nobody knew whether to laugh or cry.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? But for a moment, you got a peephole into her longing for something. And it's so sad.
Yeah.
But
it's like
people, they need us to be there to tell those stories.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To acknowledge it and to say, you care enough to try to know what they felt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of that kind of personal connection, you touch heavily on the Southside Strangler in the memoir, Timothy Wilson Spencer. Now, you had met Dr. Susan Helms, who was one of his victims. And I wonder, did having a personal encounter with a victim like that change anything about writing for you, about writing these mysteries?
Postmortem was hard to write because it was inspired by the killings there. And a lot of people don't want you to write about something that is inspired by something real because it's so painful. Now, the cases, the victims in postmortem, none of the details have anything to do with what happened with the real people. I don't exploit their privacy or even know much about it, because Marcella did not let anyone look at the records, and I never saw the autopsies, and I didn't go to the scenes. I only went to the scenes after the fact, when I'd park outside with the homicide detective, and we would be looking around at the house with all the lights out in the window, and just sort of like in the TV show, like Scarpetta Marino, they're talking about what the killer did and what happened, and they're trying to reconstruct it while they're parked outside that house.
Mm-hmm.
But and Susan Helms, I'm almost positive that's who I saw, who smiled at me at a brain cutting at the medical college. And it's hard, very hard, because a part of you says maybe I shouldn't talk about this at all. But then again, you're not doing justice to that victim if you don't tell anybody what happened to him.
Exactly.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't regret telling that story. And but it was, I try to be very careful in my work that I don't want to exploit real things that have happened to people.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't write, literally, ironically, my memoir called True Crime, and that's the one thing I wouldn't want to write.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to open up all that with people who've just been through that. It takes a very special person to be able to do that. It was hard enough doing it with Jack the Ripper, but everybody had been dead for over 100 years.
That's typically the kind of case that we cover. Like Alaina loves to cover the 1800s kind of cases because it does make it a little, to be further removed is better sometimes.
And I think it's honestly super interesting, older cases like Jack the Ripper and things, because how they solved any cases back then, I'm always shocked
remarkable.
by. So I think it's a very interesting thing to tell, is to talk about before DNA, before fingerprints, before light, like before electricity, and they just had a little single lantern lit in the corner on a dark street. Like, how did they solve anything?
I love it, every bit of it. It's so much fun. And with the Ripper case, all that you're saying, you have to keep in mind. So, for example, if I bought, and I have one sitting in a box over here, an antique bullseye lantern that goes back to the period that the cops were carrying, and I'd put a candle in it to see what it looked like out on my porch, at midnight. And all it would really do is you get this kind of yellowish, reddish glow in the real thick lens. And I thought, all you're doing is putting a laser dot on you.
Yeah. That's it.
You're just showing everybody that you're where
here.
you are. Boom. You're in fact, except the laser dot's pointed at you so that all the criminals could see where the cop was. But it makes you realize how the heck they could see anything out on the streets that night when the Ripper was killing these people. There were no street lights. Nope. There might have been some gas lanterns here and there. I mean, there were these bullseye lanterns, and that was about it. But, there's also the theory, and I suspect this is true. I would imagine that back in the Victorian era, the 1800s, and even the early 20th century, that people's eyes were better adapted to look at darkness more than we are today.
Because they had to. It's just, adaptation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they didn't have, everywhere we go, there are lights now.
Yeah.
We are almost overlighted.
Yeah, because when we get in the dark, it's
we have light pollution. You can't see the stars anymore.
I know, it makes me sad.
It is sad.
The stars.
And we're always staring at our phones too, so you get the blue lights. We're ruining our eyes.
Screens everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's really fascinating with the Jack the Ripper case too, on the other side of it, that he was able to be so precise with some of his
in the darkness,
darkness with some of the
but we should do a show. We should do one of your shows sometime on the Ripper.
We absolutely
should. A huge story. But let me just tell you this: there was nothing precise about what he did. It's people think it was, but he was slash and grab. I'll tell you what I think he did, based on everything I've seen and what snippets of autopsy reports are left, and the few scene photographs and what have you, is that I'm quite certain that even if he approached the person, the sex worker, which is what most of the victims were, when he didn't attack him, then he did it from the rear.
Oh yeah,
he came behind them and did this at their throat. They went down on the ground, and then he would go around and he would cut through their clothing and cut through the abdomen and grab out the intestines and fling them out of the way and take that. It escalated. And what the police never figured out, which is really obvious if you do this research, is that the Ripper got more and more violent. First, it was cutting the throat. Then it was putting an incision down the middle. Mm-hmm. Then it was pulling things out and throwing them. Then Mary Kelley, who was, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7, I don't remember which number, but she was flayed to the bone.
Oh, yeah.
And he took her heart with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he even took her face off.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happens? What a coincidence. They start finding people who are dismembered. Well, wouldn't you expect it to escalate to that?
That's the thing. It's like you don't end with that kind of escalation.
But he that the dismemberment stuff was more calculated because he took those bodies somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He had these little rat holes, bolt holes, hovels where in Whitechapel and all over the place. And then he would spend time with the body before he wrapped it up in something, and even put pieces of a newspaper in it too.
Yeah.
He was always he was the master of red herrings and fake clues.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just violent, is what he was.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a coward. He picked on people who were absolutely defenseless. They were drunk. It was late at night. They were wearing everything they own, and nobody cared. Nobody gave a rat's ass about him. I mean,
That's the thing. He knew they wouldn't be as investigated, or
if this had been women coming out of the theater in the West End, it'd be a different story.
Yep.
it might be solved.
It would be solved.
So-
It would be.
Well,
be
it
honest.
might have been solved if some of the people around Sickert might have been honest about him. I do believe that his wife, Ellen, at the time, the wife he had at the time, I believe she knew what he was doing.
Oh, damn.
Interesting.
She said she
Can
was
you
leaving him
imagine?
when she filed for divorce because of those women. Yet, oddly, there's never been any proof that he ever had an affair with anybody. There's never been any proof
Interesting.
that he ever had sex with anybody. As
Oh,
much- So, but I'm not sure he was capable of it because of his early surgeries on his
Mhm.
either his genitals or something. I mean, his southern hemisphere is all we know. He had a fistula.
Right.
But the point is, that is really, it's just no different than the kind of cases we have today, except that that killer was not like anybody
no.
else. And
No.
and there's been nobody like Walter Sickert. And I can see why he got away with it. And I don't care what anybody says. I totally believe he did it. He's up there on the wall, staring at you right now above
Oh, damn.
above a police notice. A police notice, that's original. There's only like
Oh,
three of those in
really?
the world
Wow.
that they put up when these murders were going on in London. So,
Oh, that's incredible.
but yeah, I mean, all of this is important to know because it might prevent something. And I think back in the Victorian era in particular, people just didn't think that someone educated, handsome, and
No.
spoke 7 languages and was an actor and an artist could possibly be a violent psychopath.
Oh, yeah. That was just unheard of.
Right.
Like unthinkable.
Now we know it could be
Now we
anybody.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely know now. And that's the thing. When the DNA came out recently and everybody's like, oh, they figured out who it was. I was like, no, they didn't.
Nope.
Everybody was messaging us. I was like, no, they
that is-
didn't. Don't believe
It is
it.
not true. That
No.
DNA, that is not correct.
That
And
DNA is ridiculous.
Patricia-
It's mitochondrial DNA.
We need to have you back. We need to have you back for a full blown
We
Jack the
do.
Ripper episode because we need to
have
do
a-
a follow up on our own series, actually.
Yeah, we do.
So we'd love to
Yeah.
have you for that.
We would love to have you
anytime
for that.
you just let me know. You consider me you're a friend of the family here.
Love
I
it.
love that.
I'm part of the morbid family.
You
Oh, hell yeah,
absolutely
you
are.
And kind of like switching gears for a second, just back to the Scarpetta TV show, because I am just like over the moon for it. It's
I'm so
incredible.
glad.
It's incredible.
I'm going to tell them they will love to hear that you love it.
Oh, I love, and I was,
I'm going to let them know today.
oh, I love that because I've been waiting for this. Like as soon as I started reading the Scarpetta series, which was, I mean, I think I was like,
You were probably
I think I was like
13?
maybe 12 or 13
Yeah.
when I said like 12, I think, because my grandmother used to read them. My mom used to read them. They were all
Alaina
around.
has
like-
been talking to me about
Yeah.
these books for my entire life.
Yeah.
And I'm 30. So
Yeah, I was
or almost 30.
I was hooked immediately. And so it became like a present that everyone would get me for like birthdays. It was like the next book in the series came. So my husband took that up every year. He'll get me the next book.
I just read Postmortem for the first time, and I am absolutely in it now. Like I can't wait to read the next
Yeah.
one.
So
Oh,
this
thank you. I really appreciate that.
and the series has really like hit. Like it hit the notes that I was like, oh, and Nicole Kidman's amazing, Jamie Lee Curtis, like
Yeah.
Bobby as Marino, like
Isn't he perfect?
chef's kiss. Like
And his
he
son
is
and his son playing
perfect.
the younger Marino is perfect.
I love it.
I can't believe you were able to do that because it just
Well,
like
I didn't do it.
hits.
I mean, Jamie and Blumhouse, the producers, and of course the more huge people. We've got 3 Oscar winners in
Oh,
this
yeah.
show.
It's
You know,
insane. It's
Jamie,
packed.
Nicole, and Ariana DeBose. I mean, who plays Lucy? It's
Incredible.
It's just an embarrassment of riches. And like I say to them, I'm surrounded by some of the most talented people in the world right now that I have the privilege to work with, and I'm hoping it teaches me a few new tricks. I actually think it's making me a better writer because when you read scripts and more scripts and you watch how they do all this, And when I'm writing now, I'll go, is there a way you can show this more dramatically and not tell it so much through narrative? I mean, and for when I first started getting into all this, to be honest with you, it threw me for a loop a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was seeing all that and reading all this, and then I'm down trying to do my old thing. And for a while, I'd have to go, okay, this feels different right now. I'm trying to, it's like listening to someone else's music.
Right.
And then go back to composing your own. But ultimately, I'm really excited about it because I feel like I'm learning some new tricks by watching what they're doing and trying to get better at
that's
what
cool.
I'm doing.
I
So
love that.
It's hard work, but it's fun and it's a big responsibility. But I'm thrilled that you like it. And I'm going to send a note to everybody and tell them that Morbid likes it, because
we love it.
They will appreciate that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
It is hit for an adaptation, like 100%.
Truly.
Hit. I love it. And
thank you.
And just to wrap up, because I know we've kept you a while, but
well, that's all right. We could talk for weeks.
I know I could just sit here and talk to you forever, but I have to ask you, just as somebody who also is like just starting out writing books, and like I'm excited about it, but I'm always shocked when anybody wants to read one of my books. Like when you gave me that incredible blurb for The Butcher Legacy, like knock me over with a feather. I've been talking about it for months, I think, at this point.
I didn't do it. Scarpetta did it. And by the way, I don't even know where she is half the time. She's probably hanging out in your world now.
Honestly, even better. And giving me permission to kind of...
She'd rather be with Nicole Kidman, let's be honest. I have to say,
who wouldn't?
I was going to say...
Hello, send her home. Send her home when you're finished shooting, please.
Who wouldn't love to be with Nicole Kidman?
No kidding. She's fabulous.
But I have to ask, was there any point during the beginning of this that you felt like this would be your career? Like you were going to have this legendary career? Was there any moment where you were like, you know what? I think I'm going to be huge.
When things got really big in the early 90s, back in the Stone Age, but
the best time.
Scarpetta was probably the biggest thing out there in most of the 90s.
Yeah.
And then J.K. Rowling had the nerve to come along whenever that was. And I mean, who the hell does she think she is coming along?
That's a great question.
Sell more books than me. But anyway.
You just stop it. Who the hell does she think she is?
Only I had called from Harry Pottersfield.
Oh,
then
there you
sold
go.
a lot more books. But anyway, I never imagined that it would all become so big. But then I learned another lesson, which is not a fun one. At the time it got so big, and I'd always thought it would stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that you have to keep reinventing yourself, that things come and go, and you go through generations of people who have read something, and maybe now the newer generation's not familiar. And it's not that my work hasn't done well. It's that I thought it would always be exactly the way it was when it started. And then suddenly now you had CSI came along and all these shows and other people, lots and lots of people writing books. And it caused me to have to pay more attention to what I'm doing and realize that I don't rest on my laurels anyway, but don't ever.
Oh,
Never think that you've arrived, that you don't have to try as hard.
Mm-hmm. That's a great lesson.
I definitely learned that because I could see that you have to keep up the same things you've always been doing, or it won't work.
Absolutely.
It's not working after a while.
Yeah,
Wise words.
It's true. And I think the last thing we just wanted to ask you was, what do you hope most people take away from True Crime, a Memoir?
That there's redemption in life. That things can start out badly and they can end up beautifully. And that you can be given chances that you never thought you would get, and that there's so many gifts if you just will look and never stop being grateful.
Yes.
Love and gratitude. Don't forget those, and don't give up. And failure is not a measure of your worth, because if it were, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I've had more failures, and I've always learned more from them than my successes.
Oh, so true. I love that.
That's perfect.
And honestly, I think everyone who reads that book is going to walk away with all of that, because I know I did.
Absolutely. 100%.
It was incredible.
Well, big hugs to you guys. I love you both. Always happy to talk to you. And let's do it again soon.
Yes, we love you. Thank you so much for your time.
And also, just before you leave, thank you so much for letting me mention Scarpetta in The Butcher Legacy.
That was huge.
I didn't let you do it. She did it.
Or thanks, Scarpetta, for letting me
send along a word.
And by and large, I pretty much do what she tells me to.
I love that. I really appreciate it.
She picked Nicole. She picked you. What can I say?
Oh, I'll take it.
Wow.
I will take it.
That's big. Thank you again, Patricia.
Thank you so much,
for
Patricia. You're the best.
Good to see you.
Bye. Great to see you both.
Wasn't that just the best?
Honestly, every time.
Every
time.
time.
And I'll never get over talking to Patricia Cornwell at all.
I know.
Because
No.
it's just been my entire life that I've been reading her books. So.
No, we got finished with that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like, stop being so inspiring, Queen.
Truly. Queen Patricia.
Queen Patricia.
Truly.
Forever.
Queen Patricia.
I realized that we didn't have her say the keep it weird with us.
I know.
So let's all in unison say it together,
Yeah.
okay? Guys, we love you. We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep it weird. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But not so
keep
weird that
it-
you didn't join us in unison.
Yeah, and keep it as weird as Patricia.
I mean, you better.
Because that's a good weird, period. It is.
Talk about regrets. We all know someone who's been in a car accident and said, I don't need to call a lawyer, only to regret it after their pain and damages were worse than expected. When someone hurts you, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, fighting for the people for over 35 years. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast. Their fee is free unless they win.
Hey, listeners, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And we are so excited to have joined the Sirius XM family.
And you know what? If you want to keep hearing new episodes of Morbid ad-free, subscribe to SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts or visit SiriusXM.com/podcasts plus to listen with Spotify or another app of your choice. Let's go.